Just white supremacy breaking another tool. Nothing new to see here. Coming to paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. Take a trip into the macabre world of goth modeling in the new millennium in this all-new Spinsterella story. Pre-order your copy of Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer at Amazon.com and other online booksellers everywhere. Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. Rap mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs was sentenced to 50 months in prison as related to the prostitution charges in connection with his sex trafficking.
The sentencing of Sean Diddy Combs, a judge handing down a 4-year sentence for the rap mogul convicted on 2 prostitution-related charges. ABC News chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky was there and has more on the emotional moments in the courtroom. Aaron, when Combs pleaded for mercy from the judge.
He did, Janae, and he really wanted to be tasting freedom right now, but the judge refused to release him. Now his lawyers tell us the judge got it wrong. They're preparing to appeal. This morning, Sean Combs is behind bars, sentenced to 4 years in prison for transporting women and male escorts across state lines for prostitution.
He can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life.
Combs begged for mercy, telling the judge, "I know that I've learned my lesson." But the judge rejected his plea, saying the sentence needed to send a message to abusers and victims alike that exploitation and violence against women is met with real accountability.
It was clear from the judge's remarks that the sentence was driven by the conduct the jury rejected.
Combs was acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, but federal prosecutors argued he deserved 11 years in prison because he inflicted life-altering violence on women. And they said that physical abuse is on video, pointing to this 2016 hotel surveillance footage depicting Combs attacking Cassie Ventura. How could the judge be blind to that and not punish him for the sum total of his conduct?
Well, the judge was allowed to take that into consideration, but what was clear from the judge's remarks was that he was going way beyond that.
Combs said, "I have been humbled and broken to my core," before apologizing to his children and tearfully telling his mother, "You raised me better." Is Sean Combs a changed man? You've been with him so long through this entire year-long prosecution.
I can say from the bottom of my heart, more than I think anybody else truly on this team can say, that he is a changed man.
How old are you?
The defense played an 11-minute documentary-style video showing Combs as a doting father and a philanthropist. The judge acknowledged his impressive career and commendable charity work, but imposed the 4-year sentence, saying a history of good works can't wash away the record in this case, which showed that you abused the power and control that you had over the lives of women you professed to love dearly. Defense attorneys told us they would appeal Combs' conviction, try to get his sentence reduced. And we heard from one of the jurors who told us Combs got off easy. This juror, who acquitted him of more serious charges, said 10 years would have been more appropriate, guys.
Wow. Dramatic and difficult trial and sentencing. Aaron, thank you. We appreciate it.
Now, the judge in the trial of Sean P. Diddy Combs has handed down the sentence as related to the prostitution charges that Sean P. Diddy Combs was convicted of being a part of in connection with his sex trafficking trial. Now, Sean P. Diddy Combs was actually looking at life in prison if the sex trafficking charges could have been proven true. However, those sex trafficking charges weren't proven true, and the only thing that the prosecution could prove was that Sean P. Diddy Combs did participate in prostitution across state lines, and this is where the judge wanted to hand out an extremely harsh sentence of 11 years. However, he wound up giving Sean P. Diddy Combs 50 months in prison and 5 years of probation. And the reason why the judge gave him such a harsh sentence is because mainly white supremacy wanted to send a message to Sean P. Diddy Combs and many of the black bootlegs who were a part of the entertainment industry that if they go out here and cross the line as related to their position in white supremacy and believe that they can go out here and be on the same level as a white person, this will be what will happen to you. And they wanted to use Sean P. Diddy Combs as an example of what can happen to someone if they step out of their place in the system of white supremacy. That's the main reason why there was an entire trial as related to this entire matter. The only reason why there was a trial as related to Sean P. Diddy Combs participating in this alleged sex trafficking as related to these freak-offs or orgies that he was participating in with his girlfriend Cassie is because Sean P. Diddy Combs violated one of the unwritten and unspoken rules of white supremacy, and that is for a black man to go out here and believe that he can be on the same level as a member of the white elite. And that's the main reason why Sean P. Diddy Combs was put on trial and was made an example of, because Sean P. Diddy Combs thought he could go out here and have a wealth base similar to those of white men in white supremacy. When he got the Ciroc label, he thought because he had gotten this Ciroc label, he could go out here and challenge the white paymasters that basically gave him his daily bread. And he thought that he was on the same level as those white members of the elite. And what those members of the elite did was see themselves as getting greatly offended because this black male had the audacity to sit there and believe that he was on the same level as a white man because of his so-called celebrity status. Now, Sean P. Diddy Combs thought that he could buy into this American dream where his celebrity status would put him on equal footing of a white man. However, in the system of white supremacy, entertainers are a dime a dozen and are just cannon fodder to fit their agendas as related to the narratives they want to push in the black community. The only thing an entertainer's job is to do is to go out here and sing and dance and again go out here and entertain the white masses as related to perpetuating the stereotypes that they want to see, and go out here and fit into pushing the anti-black agendas that the white people who control the entertainment industry want to see. And sadly, Sean P. Diddy Combs thought he could be like those moguls, but he didn't understand that when it comes to white supremacy, there is a specific place for the black entertainer, and the black entertainer is not paid to think. That's something that I learned from the late Neely Fuller Jr. Again, when they hire black people, like I said in previous videos, it's all about an agenda and all about fitting that black person into their anti-black agenda. And Sean P. Diddy Combs willingly compromised with the system of white supremacy so that he could get his, not understanding that when it came to the white supremacist, your money is actually tied to a lot of strings, and tied to a lot of strings that basically make you into their puppet, and they'll let you make money in their system of white supremacy as long as you do what they tell you to do. And that's where Sean P. Diddy Combs got it all twisted. He was one of those black bootlicks who thought he was going to be, because he made so much money in the system of white supremacy, that he was going to be on the same level as his white paymasters. And that's where he got it all twisted about everything as he made his deal with the liquor people and got his Ciroc beverage into stores. He thought he had basically arrived, not understanding the deal with the devil he made with white supremacy, a deal where he would again be able to go out here and make money as long as he was pushing their agenda, and again winding up fitting into their whole axiom he was not understanding the chess moves that were happening as related to the outcome that white supremacy wanted to see. Now, in several videos, I've talked about the reasons why they hire black people. And again, when they hire a black bootlick, it's not because they're qualified at what they do. It's because they can get 7 to 10 steps ahead of that individual. And as they get 7 to 10 steps ahead of that individual, they can use them to forward their anti-black agenda. And as they use them to forward their anti-black agenda, they already see the outcome that they want to have to fit in what their narrative is for black people. And sadly, because this individual doesn't see the subtle politics transpiring around them, they don't see the chess moves being made. They don't see the chess moves being made where they are being, again, played in a way to get set up for a checkmate. And Sean P. Diddy Combs was being set up for a checkmate from minute one. He thought he was going to go on to be one of these big-time music moguls. He thought because he was making lots of money, he was doing really well. He thought because white people were paying him attention and validating him, he thought he was going somewhere. But what he didn't understand is that, again, when it comes to black entertainers or those in the entertainment business, when you are a foundational black American, you have no allies and you have no friends. And he basically threw a lot of the other black entertainers who he used to forward that anti-black agenda under the bus. People like Notorious B.I.G. and people like many others out there who were a part of his entourage, even his own girlfriend, Cassie. I mean, Sean P. Diddy Combs was not a good man, was not an honorable man, and again, basically made this deal with the devil and thought he would not get burned. No, he thought he was the smartest man in the room and thought he could go out here and get leverage on the white supremacist while playing at his table, not understanding that the white supremacist, again, was 7 to 10 steps ahead of him. And as he filed his lawsuit against Ciroc, what happened was the white supremacist decided, okay, he wants to try to castle me on the chessboard, and decided to go out here and take his rook. And he took his rook by going out here and showing the video that he thought was buried as related to him beating up Cassie at one of his freak-offs and broadcasting it to the world. And this was the way they checked Sean P. Diddy Combs. Again, this was the check as related to the chess game in broadcasting what he thought was what he had buried, not understanding that nothing is buried in the system of white supremacy, and you lost the minute you made the deal with these devils. The minute you got on the board with these devils and started playing their game, you were set up to lose. And when it comes to black bootlicks, again, black bootlicks are set up to lose from minute one. This is why I agree with Professor Black Truth when he says bootlick is a job without a retirement plan. And the whole goal is to make sure that the black bootlick leaves the board in an ignominious fashion. And what they did was, again, take that tape of Diddy and Cassie and use it to go out here and make sure that Sean P. Diddy Combs left the board in the most ignominious and humiliating fashion. Now, Sean P. Diddy Combs thought he could go out here and sue the Ciroc people and go out here and get compensated as related to things. But what white supremacy did not like was him trying to flex on them after making deals with the devil. And this is where the devil basically flipped the game. And as they flipped the game, it exploded into this scandal on their media outlets. The same media outlets he used to make himself into a star were then turned against him, and a whole narrative was put out here about P. Diddy Combs participating in alleged sex trafficking. Alleged sex trafficking as related to these freak-offs where he was participating in all of these deviant sex acts with his girlfriend, Cassie, who was not, again, an innocent victim as related to anything. What the mainstream media wants to do is paint her as an innocent victim. But the whole thing is, again, that's about a spin of a narrative, because Cassie was one of these people in the entertainment business. I know about this entertainment business because I've studied it for 25 years. She was basically one of these chicks who was monkey branching from one guy to the other, looking to try to make a star out of herself and looking to try to get a payday. But they used her as, again, a part of their whole chess moves against Sean P. Diddy Combs. They basically used her like a queen on the board, and again used her to again push this anti-black narrative because it fit within white supremacy's narrative of black men being presented as brutes, presented as savages, presented as sexual deviants. That's what they wanted to push. And again, Cassie basically fit in here as the biracial woman who was again part of everything. Again, she fit right into white supremacy's narratives. And as she fit into their narratives, this is where they designed this whole trial of alleged sex trafficking against Sean P. Diddy Combs. And again, the entire trial was designed to go out here and make sure that Sean P. Diddy Combs wound up leaving the board in the most ignominious manner. And he wound up leaving the board in the most ignominious manner. And white supremacy could get a laugh at seeing how another tool in their system wound up broken very easily and showed and secured these white elite in believing that they could maintain their power because this black man, again, had the audacity to believe that he could go out here and be on the same level as the white elite, and they wanted to send a message with this trial. This trial was nothing more than a message to black bootlicks to let them know their place in their system. And the reason why the entire trial went on, again, was to go out here and make an example by breaking one of their tools in the entertainment industry and sending, again, that big message. This was all about a message for white supremacy. And a lot of people are sitting there wondering, oh, this is all about Diddy and him being a changed man. No, Diddy was, again, not changed at all. I don't believe in any way, shape, or form. He knew the devils he was dealing with, and as he dealt with those white devils, he didn't care a lick about black people. No, did he care about Notorious Big? Did he care about any Craig Mack or any of the entertainers who he had working for him as part of Bad Boy Entertainment? Did he care about any of the foundational black Americans who he pushed these anti-black messages in his music to, about drinking, selling drugs, being in gangs? I mean, he had no problem pushing that kind of music on black children for generations. No, it was all about him getting his. But what he didn't understand is that when it comes to the Bible, there's an axiom that says that God is not mocked, and as a man shall sow, he shall reap. And what happened to Sean P. Diddy Combs is that what was done in the dark came to the light as he reaped what he sowed, later than what he sowed, greater than what he sowed, and he wound up with a bitter harvest because of the deal he made with the devil. And while a lot of people say the sentence was harsh, this is what happens when a black person goes out here and makes a deal with the white devils of white supremacy. Again, when you make a deal with the devils of white supremacy and compromise your soul, what happens is the devil is going to take his pay and you are going to wind up on a bad end. And Sean P. Diddy Combs is on a bad end. He's gone from being the music mogul who had power. Again, he could have sent people to college the way Bill Cosby did. He could have helped out a bunch of brothers and sisters and helped them get themselves right. But no, he took his money and his power, looking to gain power through sexual deviancy and his lust, and again participated in these freak-offs. And as he participated with these freak-offs with his girlfriend, Cassie, again, he wound up creating, again, the Achilles heel that basically took him out. And that's what the white supremacists wanted to see as related to their axioms. Again, they were 7 to 10 steps ahead of him. They had this whole narrative, oh, this black man is caught up in his lust. This black man is a brute who lusts after women. This black man is one who basically can't control himself sexually. And as the racists basically saw Diddy, again, participating in these freak-offs, again, they had their narrative proved to them, and they also had the leverage as related to the information they needed to take this man down, and they were feeling comfortable because everything was fitting right into their pattern as related to things. And again, Diddy basically fell right into their things as related to that anti-black agenda that they have as related to black people. And again, it would have happened anyway because, again, when it comes to black people, even if we do things on the right, again, they'll invent things if they have to, again, because they want to see a certain outcome. And Diddy going to jail was the outcome that the white supremacists wanted to see regarding this black man, because the white supremacist wants to say, hey, we can control a black man's life. We can set one up. We can bring one down because they believe they are God. And they believe that because they are God, they can do whatever they please to a black person. They can, again, go out here and put things on the carpet, like in the Ralph Ellison novel, Invisible Man, and basically, as the black man continues to get shocked, thinks that they have power over that black man. Unfortunately, Diddy basically thought he was, again, making these deals with the devil and thought he could come out clean. But again, just like I put on the back of my novel, The Temptation of John Haynes, again, death kills the flesh, but compromise kills the soul. And Diddy's soul was basically compromised from minute one. And the sentence he received was all part of that compromise he made with white supremacy. And as he made that compromise with white supremacy, again, he basically, again, was going to go to prison because they wanted to make an example of him, make that example of him. And again, he got 4 years. And again, it's going to be a hard 4 years with Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles going out here, possibly going out here and having him sing some songs for some Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light tea, and packets of off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, and all the items of the commissary. And that's what the white supremacist wants to see. They want to see a black man broken. They want to see a black man broken down. And they want to see him coming out of prison with his head held down like they have right now. They are getting just a good kick out of seeing this black man being broken right in front of them. That's what they wanted to see. And again, that's the message that many won't see because they're caught up in the celebrity. And as they're caught up in the celebrity, they're not seeing the subtle politics transpiring around them. They're not seeing that this whole trial was never about trafficking. It was all about a message to let anybody know, if you want to be a part of this entertainment industry, again, the media arm of white supremacy, you will make a compromise that will cost you your soul and lead to the end of your life. That's what's going to happen to you when you deal with these devils. And again, this is what Diddy didn't see at the end of the road. He thought he was going to go out again, an old man, again, doing all this dirt like white people, not understanding that when it comes to those devils, they're already, again, getting their consolation, and he wound up getting, again, part of that consolation. But in the system of white supremacy, when it comes to a black man, that consolation comes with a cost. It comes with a cost that basically costs you everything in this world and costs you everything in the next world. And that's what's happening here with Diddy. Again, Diddy basically did himself in when he thought, hey, I'll sell my people out to white and get the goodies and giveaways, but there are no guarantees for black people in the system of white supremacy. outside of there being nothing good for a black person who goes out here and makes this deal with the devil in the system of white supremacy, because when you make that deal, all you're doing is setting yourself up for a trip to the lake of fire in the next world and a whole lot of suffering in this one sooner or later. Now, if you want to pick up some of my books on the SJS Direct imprint, you can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Drafted Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And that's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA, from the Black Boule, in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl. The aspiring angel takes on a wicked teenage witch in this action-packed, all-new Esteemed series adventure. Pick up your copy of Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.